guys. I thought that intro. So, I don't do enough. I don't do enough Facebook lives, and I saw a really good video today on something that I resonate with, and I know is a deep truth about souls, us, which is everybody, soul contracts, and soul exit points. So, I think that one of the most enlightening spiritual things that you can focus on in this realm is people's near-death experiences, because those that have gone clinically died and come back the other side tell us a lot about what we're going to experience, I feel, when we die, when the soul is no longer inside this what is this? The body holds the score, right? And the body holds the trauma. So when the soul is no longer attached to that, and you caveat, the whole point of this realm is to get to the point where you can realign completely so that you can see the present moment eternally. And that's the struggle. To be internally validated in happiness, safety, control, and internal validation for you purifying the channels. But when you die, you're going to experience, as many people before in near-death experiences, you're going to experience the true self, because this realm, this earth, isn't our soul's real home. It's not our natural resting place. This realm is our soul's training ground. And I don't know, I can't speak for other planets, and I'm open-minded to all possibilities and multi-universes and stuff, but I'm sure if you're watching this you can relate that this, where the soul comes down to on this plane or planet or whatever shape it is, it's one of the hardest to do what Jesus and many others have done, but not everybody, which is to surrender the soul back into the body, back where the chakras are aligned. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Complete reunification and purification of the vessel through healing trauma work, which is an ongoing process, and which I might add is a process that no human can do in one lifetime, because that's bloody ridiculous. All you need to do is to look at life and how hard it is just to learn to get out of the little cycles and loops of drama and lessons and letting go that we do in this incredible hard realm. It's ridiculous to think that we only have one life here. So we have multiple lives, multiples. And at some point in Earth School, after hundreds of lifetimes, we're all going to make it home. And we do make it home every time we die. We do a respawn. We die. We get delivered, people near death get delivered from that pain, and then they go back to I am, and they connect to the divine, to the source, to the life, to the man in the sky, which is a bit mocked, but actually it's a nice analogy to help us think, because I do believe God creates his own image. It's more complicated than some object. It's eternal, and it's part of you. And we're all going to get a life review. This life has incredible meaning, and everything you think, say, and do has a consequence. Everything. And you don't get punished by God, the eternal one that created all souls, because you're all a child of God. And God has developed a beautiful system, in my opinion, where you get a life review where you don't, God doesn't judge you. You judge you. Because we're all one, and we don't feel like we're all one, but when you get your life review, your quantum computer life review, it's like a sci-fi movie, when you get to experience the consequences and the ripple effects of all the bad and good, the good too, it's good to focus on, you get to fix the good and the bad, you start feeling the pain and the suffering of your thoughts, words, and actions on others. You get to feel good because we do a lot of good here, but even conscious people, we hurt other people in relationships, our friends, because we've got our own trauma and we project out our trauma onto other people. Sometimes we don't mean to do this. So the life review will teach us And God bathes us all the time. Technical point, God is bathing this entire world right now in unconditional love and supports every soul, good or whatever you perceive to be bad. So it's all very purposeful. So the life review is given, and then you want to come back and you wait for an opportunity to learn the karmic lessons that you need to learn, and then you'll come back here. But so we know from near-death experiences this is true. We also know from near-death experiences that you choose your family, you choose your friends, you choose all dramas, all relationships, everything. Everything's chosen by you. But what's not often talked about is we even choose our time of death, because everything's eternal and everything's already happened. We're just living in what we feel like is time to make this game incredibly hard suffering, but it's not real, is it? So the time of death is even known. And the soul, that's you, before you came here, chose to have many multiple exit points. Your soul was given a few exit points, but you're only allowed to die from those exit points when you've completed your mission. And the whole point of this realm is to remember, Simba, who you are. The whole point of this is to remember your specific soul mission in this incarnation, and everyone's on a different timeline frequency, everybody. So that's why it's important not to judge. Some people are behind you in your perception, some people are ahead of you in your perception. You help those people behind you because you care, and those ahead of you you look up to and learn from, right? You learn to become a better teacher by those behind you too, that you want to teach. This is a teaching school, helping everybody. And what is helping everybody but helping yourself? So the speak I'm giving is the truth of all the souls and how we're just one soul feeling separate down here. So you get multiple exit points and you're not allowed to die from them. So no matter the tragedy, even if it's your aborted child, so that was the exit point, to help the father and mother learn lessons. If a child is born and dies quickly, it's hard for us in our logical minds to get our heads around why children would suffer. Why? Like a 4-year-old dies and it's got cancer, that's very unfair on mum and dad, he doesn't get a chance to life. Well, that baby had a soul contract to do that very thing. And if you think about it, the only thing that wakes people up here and draws us back to God in our journeys, it's only one thing. And that's suffering. There's no other way. There's no other way people make choices not to go to God, not to do the healing work, not to connect with the divine without suffering. The devil. Suffering is the tool that wakes everything up. So in the case of the 4-year-old baby, that's mother and dad are obviously heartbroken, he dies of cancer, definitely not the kid's fault. The child signed a soul contract, but knows full well that they're going to come back after many respawns, and in that life that was lived for 4 years, has had an incredible impact at the very least on mum and dad, and has transformed their soul journey. Because what does death of our loved ones do to our heart? Death of our loved ones breaks our heart, but then it opens it. There's no other way. There is another way to stay down there in the sadness forever. But most humans open up to love and our heart and healing through our own suffering or the suffering of our loved ones. It wakes us up. So that's why the child decides to do this. That's why we've died in wars. Gaza, for example. They're dying, but they're learning the consequences of... the killers are learning the consequences of their actions when they die. If you're an innocent person that died in war, God's going to give you loads of chances to come back here. You don't go to eternal hell and heaven. I mean, even though that sounds good, eh? Outside of time and space. I mean, the Bible's right. Eternal hell, eternal heaven. But what they're not right is, outside of time and space, 1 second here feels like eternal up there. So you do go to heaven. And by the way, most people, I believe, go to heaven, which is already not what Christians, I guess, would believe. Most people do. Most people in near-death experience have a positive heavenly experience. Most people, not all of them. But even the hell realm that you experience is only temporary, but it feels eternal outside of time and space. You know what I'm trying to say? You guys ever had a DMT trip or a mushroom trip and time just kind of disappears? You change your frequency. You ever been in the flow of your passion and there is no such thing as time in your conception because you're living in the now more, you're in your flow? Time is real here until we figure out that the only time here is the now, and that's the place where we find God, who's us, who's you and me. He only lives in one place. That's now, every second of every day. But you want to experience that, right? That's what we come down here to do, to experience closer tastes of chakra, energy center realignment, surrender, to the point where we wake up fully to full surrender. And then we live almost permanently in a state of silence, peace, and a connection to the divine, what Jesus called the kingdom of heaven and earth. That's why I feel the deepest analogy of the matrix, of being plugged in to the matrix, because we're all, by the way, plugged into, we're all connected to God. There's no way that you're not ever connected to God. Not even the most lost, demonic, dark soul is connected to God. But we want to feel as humans connected to our Father in heaven, the one that created it, the one that created us. And we do that through healing ourselves, often through other people, which is ourselves, and get back into a state of surrendering our false self, our ego, and our soul comes back home. The soul drives deep into the still point. The soul drives deep with complete chakra alignment. The soul gets permission. It stops being restless, because this life is nuts. And the more trauma you've got unhealed, and these are facts I'm saying, I'm not speaking woo-woo, I'm speaking from my own experience. The more unhealed you are, the more trauma, the more your soul, it was still attached to your body. The soul doesn't attach to your body till you die, right? But the problem is that when you've got a lot of trauma unhealed, the soul is restless. So it doesn't sit in the body. The soul is an exact replica of your human body. You know, we have many bodies, they say in yoga. I'll make it simple. The soul body, your real self, is the same shape and size, but it doesn't fit, and it's restless within the body. And that restlessness causes us always to seek validation externally, and when we get what we want from our friends, from our family, or who the world thinks we are, we kind of realign more and more back into that center. And that's the struggle, because can we as humans, I'm talking metaphorically because I know we can we as humans get to a point, and I know that we all do, we get to a point where the soul feels safe enough to come back to its true home on earth. So first of all, the soul's real home isn't here, it's heaven, the heavens, the many heavens, the great I am above. But we come here and we can experience heaven on earth, but it can only come through continuation and honesty and radical honesty of our healing through other people, to get us to the place where eventually your ego and your soul feels safe enough to surrender back, fully centered and grounded, back in its true home, the still point, the point that is boundaryless within your own body. It's boundaryless and it's scary to do the moment of full surrender. I've not done this, but I've had tastes and I can talk about it. There's point in the body where there is silence and stillness called your consciousness from complete chakra alignment, which gives your soul permission to sink deep. As your chakras go up, this is a feeling sense, as your chakras go up, and you'll feel it, your soul sinks deeper into its true home and not wonky. Because traumatized souls, which is everybody, has the soul in the body tethered soul, but you need to heal so much that your body needs to heal so much, and your mind, that the tether of the soul takes a snip and it trusts in God, and then your soul realizes, I'm not dead, the body's still alive, the cord is cut, the snip is made, and then your body sinks into oblivion with no grounding, and it's very scary. It's called dying before you die. And when your soul sinks deep into the body in complete alignment, your soul is sinking into the sacred center, the boundaryless center, because the soul is using the body because it's off center. The soul is using the body as a boundary. Therefore, as humans mistakenly think, I am my body, because your soul is not sitting in the middle, centered and aligned. It's not sitting in the middle of your body. And if it does this, that surrender feels like dying before you die. I had one taste once. I used an external resource. But I've also practiced and visualized, so I know what I'm talking about, and I know that no one can argue and say I've said one word wrong here. So it's like there's truths out there, and conspiracy truths and all these things. But the things I'm talking about now, this is an experience, and this can't be denied. And we can all do it, and we do all do it, but it's very scary, because you're dying your false self, and you're trusting in God, and it feels like you're dying. And what is the biggest fear of everybody on the earth at the very core? It's the fear of dying. It's the fear of trusting God so much, because that's not just a logical thing. That's a feeling that when you surrender to your still point, your soul is driving down the very middle, and there's nothing to hold on to. There's nothing. It's scary. You know what it is? It's the greatest unknown ever. Death is the greatest unknown. We can learn about NADs and know that they're... But surrendering your soul, which is attached to your body, to the still point, which is the chakra alignment, the chakras can come up, and as the chakras come up, your soul drives deep. I once had an experience where my energy center moved before I was into all this stuff, and it's not an accident. This happened to me. Once I had an experience where I was keeping myself still, doing breath work, and imagining where I was on the bed, and I couldn't sleep for hours, and I was just feeling better and better. And then at one point, my chakras went up my energy center went up from my second to my third. I felt this energy ball, and then I was in the middle of the night. I woke up, looked in the mirror, and I didn't even feel like I was me anymore. Some deep level of self-consciousness just left me, and I was here. And then the next day was bliss. For one day of my life, if I look back at my life, God honest truth, it was the happiest, because I wasn't relying on anything externally to make me happy. I'd moved my chakra from my second to my third. My soul had gone in a deeper level. No, not completely, but my soul had gone a deeper level back into its body. Full awakening on the truest sense. Awakening in the truest sense. The point of no return of awakening is when number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the whole chakras. Often we have mini chakra energy center movements. From the third to the fourth is a huge one, right? That's a huge block. And my heart is not open, if I'm being honest with everyone here, yeah? I've got a lot of work to do, but I know the issue. So my third and my fourth's not working great, but the complete awakening process, the point of no return, where you cannot go back, is when 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and boom. It's what Jesus did, it's what the Buddha did, it's what a lot of normal people that you won't hear about unless you look at the right resources on YouTube, are doing now. This is literally the new age. This is the age where not only is there mass information on Christ consciousness, surrender, all the same things, surrendering your soul, trusting in God, going to the still point, all these dying before you die, they're all the same things. Yeah. Oh, it's everything. Eric, you lose your wagwan. Yeah, we think we are our personalities, right? I guess I'm speaking Christ consciousness, but the truth is we are not who we think we are, but we've been conditioned through interactions and from people. We've been conditioned to seek safety. Our soul really wants safety inside its own body. And I saw a nice Facebook post once where it said the body is the cathedral of God, your body. And that's very true. Because to experience the kingdom of heaven on earth, which another way of saying is just to be present, to be present, to surrender to the present, no judgments, you have to go into the unknown to get there. And humans are just spending our entire lives trying to not go into the unknown, because it's scary, because we don't feel safe inside our own bodies. But all humans do get to a point where they're completely safe inside their own body. Everyone's on different timelines, first of all, so it's very stupid to judge other people. Don't care who they are, even if it's NPCs, whatever that is, like, because we're all souls here. It's very stupid. Everyone's on different timelines, but also everyone makes it home. So why are we doing this? I mean, I do it. We all judge people, but logically, I would like to feel emotionally, but because God experiences everyone here with unconditional love. He knows us logically, but he cares about us. It's a feeling of unconditional love. And we can experience it too. It's as simple as saying, but hard to do, any second when you tap into the present moment. And people need to stop bullshitting themselves about this present moment thing, because a lot of people think they're present when they're not. Another trap: people think they're present when their validation is being provided for by other people, when their safety has been provided for by other people, when they're control of other people. They feel like they're more connected. But that's using external resources, and the real test is when you're by yourself for hours on end. When you're fully awakened, you can sit in a cave for an hour, a day or two, and be fine. You're connected to source. All you're feeling is the moment. You're actually being in the moment. That's all you are. You're being in the moment. Life is about returning and healing to find out that the only thing that ever mattered wasn't your past, wasn't the future, it was the present. You know? The good news is, when you die, most of us are going to heaven. It's good news. You'd have a good life review. No one's perfect. Most people are decent, if we're being honest, guys. Most people are fairly decent. And we'll just keep coming back, and we keep forgetting. And then there's people that think we don't even live past lives. Of course we do. We just need to read books, be open-minded, watch YouTubes, think about your own life. We've lived multiple lives here. It's a very hard school. To me, it's a bit delusional, to be honest, to think that we only live one life and that we can go to Christ consciousness and surrender in one life. Let's be real here. Not even Jesus did that. Nor did Buddha. They were incarnations that kept coming around the block. Or maybe God sent them as special beings. But we're all special because we're all children of God. So we've got to be careful where we go. Are some more special? Some have different missions. Some have gone around the block more. We all make it home. We all make it home to the now. But what I'm encouraged to is this kind of talk that I'm doing is becoming more and more common in this new age now. And it's, even if people like myself aren't there yet, or I don't even know where I'll be in the end of this incarnation, I know my goals. I know my most important thing is to be here now. As Ram Dass said, his book, be here now. That's the most important goal. But when you're done, in that peace, you might want to help the world, because you can see the whole world suffering on a deeper level, because you're living in the now, and you can see everyone else living in past or future. But the encouraging thing is a lot of people are speaking about it more than I've ever seen on YouTube. And that's celebrities who I don't want to judge negatively. I'm not saying there's nothing going on in Hollywood and all these things. But it seems like a shit more ton of people are, because of one thing, the internet, which by the way was designed by God at 2,000 years after Jesus. 2,000 years after Jesus. Wasn't it around the year 2000 that the internet exploded? Coincidence? Maybe. Don't think so. So the internet came along, and now everyone's talking the same language. And there's only one conclusion that can happen when loads of people are talking the language that I'm talking. The only natural conclusion from talking this language is, at some point in this incarnation or the next after, because you carry over knowledge from this incarnation. You carry over two things when you die that can never leave you. Knowledge, very powerful, and even more powerful, I think, is love. But knowledge and love are carried over. So now more and more people are going to get it done in this incarnation and the next incarnations. The knowledge. And the knowledge can only, for a sincere truth seeker, the knowledge is not enough. What's it good to know about Christ consciousness on one level if you're not going to go and do it yourself? If you're not trying to or striving to. Don't try too hard though, because it's hard and you can get attached, and that's a whole different topic. If you're too attached to something, this is the beautiful dance. If you're too attached, as the Buddhists say, fuck, you're not going to get there. You might know about it. You got to have so much in-depth knowing that you're not attached to it. And I am, severely. And everyone is that knows about it that's not, because then you'd be doing it. It's not about knowing, it's about non-attachment, as the Buddhists say. You know, and then you do, and then you trust that you won't die, and then you die before you die. Because for everyone, it's nearly the same process. You have to go like through a spiritual death. It's the same pain as physically dying. Here's something encouraging that I always use to myself. We're all going to die here, right? Our physical bodies are going to die. So why don't we, that understand this language and are on these healing journeys, commit to dying before you die? You're going to die anyway. So when you die before you die, when your body dies, there's zero fear, because you know you're going back to God. You actually know, on a feeling sense, you know. That's the drive. And second, everyone wants deep peace outside of external validation. Everyone wants to be happy in the moment. Everybody wants to live in the moment. I think a lot of people have had tastes of the present moment. I think a lot of normal people have had tastes of the present moment. And that's pretty cool. Might be resistant to the healing work and all these things, but a lot of humans have had tastes of the present moment. They don't know what it is. They don't know how to talk about it. They don't know the meaning behind it. But they do know there's something deeply peaceful. There is a peace that has no opposites within being deeply present. It's called the peace of God. And it's the only peace that humans want. And it's not the dirty highs of external validation or temporary plugs of the ego. I eat my ice cream. I'm doing this now. I'm moving my body. I'm moving here. I'm talking to this friend. Oh, I'm listening to this friend. Here's my validation, and I feel safe, and now I feel balanced. It's a completely different peace. It's a peace from being by yourself. And it's a peace that is surrendered to the present moment and connected to God. And it's a peace that emanates unconditional love. Without any judgment, without any blind spots, without any projections. And it's very beautiful. And it's what we all search for. And I will talk about it more and more. I don't talk about it enough. But as I journey, I'll talk about it more and more, and God rest my soul. Hopefully at some point, if the divine has, if I've chosen in my soul contract to get it done, then at some point, I'd say along down the future, then I'll be okay. And then I would want to teach, because sometimes people just want to be, sometimes when people have found God and surrendered, their soul mission wasn't to teach it. It was just to emanate that presence wherever they're at. And they do teach it just in their little Bolivian village. There's loads of Bolivian nannies right now, Bolivian poor nannies, grannies in surrender, and they're not teaching it like Tolly or gurus, but they're living it and they're helping people. And then the mum is in it, and then they have a baby. A mum surrendered, has a baby. She's in Christ consciousness permanently, and she has a baby, and then that baby will experience from the mum something that hardly any other babies will, which is the baby's in a state of unconditional love and presence, and so is the mum. And then when the baby's in it, and getting it from mum, the baby won't have zero trauma. Babies get traumatized and start developing egos only because the people around them aren't in Christ consciousness. It's the only reason. It's not the language thing and learning and that. It's the people that they grow up with, everybody, 99.999%, no exaggeration. That's still not everybody, but everybody is in egoic state, in all kinds of levels of vibration, but not pureness. So the baby doesn't get reflected back what it is. The baby gives out but the baby needs love back, needs pure and unconditional love back. And the mum and dad do their best, whilst it's a baby, because it's all cute and appreciative and it's newly out of heaven. The baby's newly out of heaven, looks cute. But as the child starts getting older and you're parenting, it gets hard, and then your ego comes back in and you're still not in that perfect unconditional state. So it's a cycle and it's all perfect. It literally is all deeply perfect. This is my logic mind expressing what I do not feel, but what we all should know logically, that everything is perfect, every soul mission is perfect, many chances, many lives, we do not die, everything is eternal. You will feel pain when you die, most probably. We already feel pain when someone we love dies. We already feel pain from love. But remember, when you feel pain from someone you love dying, heartbreak, more often than not, that opens up your heart and puts your chakras more and more closer to God. It opens up love, pain and suffering and death of others and yourself, but others, and all of these crazy things, wars, opens up our heart to love, to the love frequency, to the fourth chakra. And when they're all aligned, boom, welcome to the peace of God. Alright, talked enough. Thanks whoever's watching, and thank you Eric for commenting, and Shelley. Peace and love. Ciao.